Good afternoon. Welcome back for another session and discussion on content related to LIS 1010. Today we're going to be talking about trade publications. Now, trade publications are very unique in that they're neither considered academic work nor are they considered popular work. They are actually resources written for those who work in a very specific industry or profession. So they contain current news and trends related to that specific industry. But most of all, they're written for professional audience. That is, they're written by someone, often other professionals within the field, or by staff editors, sometimes journalists who have subject level expertise on the topic, practitioners or academics in the field with knowledge of the field for other practitioners or the interested non-specialists. That is to say, they're written for insiders in a particular profession. Now, this is really key to remember as you're going forward, is that trade publications or professional publications are written by professionals for other professionals. Additionally, trade or professional publications can oftentimes be published by trade or professional associations, groups, members, etc., that have gathered together to promote that particular profession or trade. The objective of these publications is to provide practical information and to promote both education and skills within a particular trade, industry, or profession. These publications tend to publish news, statistics, trends, and other information relevant to their industry, and the format can be delivered in either paper or online, so either through subscription or freely accessible content. Oftentimes, a trade or professional publication is going to have a bright, glossy cover that actually varies from issue to issue, very similar to popular magazines in that respect. Also, for trade publications, oftentimes you'll find that the title or name of the profession is contained within the title of the publication. Advertisements within the publication are targeted to professionals in the field. So it's containing, services, goods, equipment, etc. that might be directly needed by that profession. Additionally, trade and professional publications oftentimes are not peer reviewed. And the article types also include industry news, opinion pieces, practical advice, and product reviews. So it's a very broad scope of information that's relayed within these professional and trade publications. Oftentimes, the professional trade publications also will use a specialized terminology or jargon of that field. They're not necessarily written for the layperson, but they're also not using academic language. So it's kind of a happy medium in that the language is not as technical as you would see in an academic journal. Additionally, they're going to have a lot of visuals. There's going to be photographs, some graphics and charts. There's going to be bright, glossy, possibly even full-page advertisements that are targeted to the professionals. That is very different than what you would see within an academic journal. The layout and organization of trade publications is going to be very informal. So it's going to be organized as far as the articles like a journal or a newsletter, and the evidence contained within professional and trade publications is going to be drawn more from personal experience or common knowledge, not necessarily the research, verifiable, testable evidence that you would see in a scholarly journal. Additionally, kind of a key point within this is that articles in trade and professional publications are oftentimes evaluated by editorial staff who may be experts in the field, but it is not a peer review process. They're also edited for format and style, not necessarily edited for content. Further, articles within professional and trade publications are usually between 3 to 5 or 3 to 8 pages in length, considerably shorter than most academic articles that you'll be reading. And occasionally, the authors of these articles might have a brief bibliography at the end of their works or works cited, but this is not required. So another significant difference from academic publications. One last point with trade publications is that each issue typically begins with page 1, as opposed to the continuous pagination that you see within academic publications. So a couple of significant differences as we look at that. One thing that I wanted to point out is I actually brought some examples of professional and trade magazines / journals that you can see a little bit about them. So the first one is this wonderful magazine called Construction. And you can see right off the bat that it's beautiful, glossy cover, different fonts. It's really kind of it's very similar to popular content in that respect. Additionally, we can see that they have articles of interest for their audience. In this case, they're talking about the building of a construction site, a new Super Bowl building for those of us who are sports fans, or not, as the case may be. So it's industry-specific information. And also we can see that, for example, down here, the advertisement for this, it's about a quarter-page advertisement related to content that is of interest to individuals in that profession. Further, there's another full-page advertisement right across from it. So this is paid advertising, very similar to what you would see in popular magazines and content, but the entire subject matter of this is related to a specific industry or profession. This is not Vogue, it's not Sports Illustrated, it's not even Gourmand or Bon Appetit. This is a professional journal strictly for individuals in the construction management or construction workplace. Another type of journal, professional trade magazine that we see here is one called Airline Pilot. Obviously, you can tell I pulled these from our stacks here at JCKL. Some of this content, once again, is very similar. This is a little thicker than the construction one that we just looked at. So there's roughly 70 pages to this one as opposed to the 35, 40 pages that were in the construction one. But similar to the other one, we can see that this actually has commentary on it written by experts within the field, so that's of interest to some people. So editorials, that type of thing. And then within this, once again, really nice paper that they're using. They're using the glossy paper. But then we can see that they have content on, for example, Market Watch. So they're keeping an eye on different trends within that. They're also looking at industry statistics, so taxes on air transportation. I know I recently booked some airline tickets and I almost think the taxes on it were as much as the airline ticket itself. Oh well, but things of interest to that. This is also slightly political in nature, so for those in aviation who wanted to contact their representatives for their respective airlines, just different things that they can do. This one has a Sudoku page, so professionals with some very loose parameters, I guess you could say. They cover a whole range. So we saw construction, airline magazines. This next one is the International Magazine of Mineralogy, Geochemistry, and Petrology. So if anybody is in the oil and gas field, this would be something that they might be interested in. And as we said, glossy cover, nice layout, advertisements, things like that, and then articles and content that are of interest to people within that particular industry. Something that I wanted to point out, and let me see if I can find it here. One of them had information on conferences. Oftentimes within professional literature of trade or the profession specifically, you'll find that there are lots of advertisements, etc., for upcoming conferences, conference findings, things like that. Because as we had mentioned earlier in this video, sometimes these publications are actually published by professional or trade associations. So they're going to promote their accompanying conference because they want individuals within that field then to attend that related conference for continuing education, promotion, and development within the industry. The last sample that I brought down for us today is a beautiful document called VMSD, which stands for Visual Merchandising and Store Design. I don't know if anybody's in retail management or whatnot, but this is a very popular professional trade publication for that industry. Back in my younger years and so forth, I did a stint of retail working, and if I had seen this, it actually might have encouraged me to stay in that industry as opposed to going into finance, but so be it. So this also, just so we can see, there's advertisements. Let's see. They're doing a feature on the Great American Chocolate Store. That would be Hershey's in Hershey, Pennsylvania. If you ever get the chance to go there, it really does smell like chocolate. It's pretty awesome. So we can just see that there's a variety of different content. This one is an advertisement right here for tile. So for those who are doing store remodels, things like that, just as you would see in other content publications, you're going to have a mix of advertising geared towards a specific trade or profession, in addition to industry-specific news content. So it's the bridge between popular magazines and those that are truly a very technical, highbrow, academic content type. So trade publications written by professionals for others in that professional, it's for insiders in that. It really is of interest, even if you think that you're not going to stay in a particular career or industry for your entire lifespan. It's always good to stay current on that information because it might open up other doors of opportunity as you move forward with your professional development. So these are just a few of the examples that we have as we're talking about trade publications. I hope that these were of interest to you, and if you have any questions on trade publications, don't hesitate to reach out. I would love to hear from you. Till next time, take care.